transferred to Manchester United today.
Football predictions.
If Rangers nil, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Happy New Year, it's Peter Guest and the Moose back for another episode of the footballpredictions.net podcast covering Bundesliga games the 17th to the 19th of January 2025. And you can see the details for all the matches we're about to discuss in this podcast on our website, footballpredictions.net, along with fixtures from just about every other football competition in the world from A to Z.
Yes, and on our website, it will show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels plus video streaming services, as well as team news and match odds from local bookmakers. Look in the description of this podcast episode for direct clickable links to all of the matches we're about to discuss. If you're streaming any matches on Bet365, geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus, gamble aware.
And first up, we've got Eintracht Frankfurt, who are sitting in third spot, taking on lowly Borussia Dortmund, who are in 10th. This one kicks off on Friday, the 17th of January, 7:30 p.m. UK time. And visit our site for the kickoff time, local betting odds and broadcast streaming channels tailored to your location for this match. You can watch this one on Bet365. To qualify, all you need is a funded account or to place a bet in the last 24 hours. Use the bonus code FP365 on sign up. And I believe in the UK, this is also available on Sky Sports, if you have a subscription, of course. Well, Frankfurt have been doing okay lately, haven't they?
Yeah, this is really a really interesting game for this weekend because Eintracht Frankfurt, since the Bundesliga has come back after the Christmas break, they had 2 defeats in the lead up to that Christmas break, but they've started this part of the second part of the season really strong with 2 wins from two wins that we had predicted. We predicted the outcome and the correct score at St. Pauli. We had a 1-0 win for Eintracht Frankfurt in that game. And then midweek, we had them to have a solid home win against Freiburg. And they won 4-1 against Freiburg. We had over 2.5 goals in that game and a Frankfurt win. So great start for Frankfurt in this game. They are also sitting now third in the Bundesliga, going into this game against Dortmund, who have been completely opposite. 2 defeats from their first 2 games back after the break. And that's not what they've wanted. It's the first time this season that they've had back-to-back defeats. You can understand the home defeat to Bayer Leverkusen. We had a game there full of goals because we predicted both teams to score. Bayer Leverkusen beat Dortmund 3-2. But Dortmund then traveled to Holstein Kiel, and anyone who's listened or following the Bundesliga obviously know how much Holstein Kiel has been struggling this season since they got promoted from the second Bundesliga. But they didn't struggle against Dortmund last week. They beat them 4-2 at home, and therefore Dortmund now have 2 defeats from 2 going into this game against Frankfurt, which is going to be a tricky test for them. Dortmund away from home has only won 1 game this season, so the likelihood of them taking anything from Frankfurt is probably quite small.
Yeah, and just some stats on this as well. You know that Frankfurt haven't beaten Borussia Dortmund in their previous 7 league games, so they're not doing too well against them. So, but they are doing better themselves. Obviously, they're third in the table. Borussia Dortmund quite low down the table, like you mentioned. But in this one, we think it's going to be a good high-scoring game because you can see there have been quite a few goals, especially in the last games each. And we think it's going to be a draw. But our tip for this one is both teams to score. And you can get odds of that at 1.44 at the moment. For our full-time result prediction, we've gone for a draw, at which you get odds of 3.7 right now. And for our correct score prediction, we have actually gone for 2-2. So a high-scoring draw. Odds of that, if you like, a correct score prediction are currently out at 11. That's 10-1. And in our poll, just to let you know, on our website, which you can visit and just click on the clickable links in the description, you'll be able to see that at the moment anyway, 47% of people like Frankfurt to win, 32% Borussia Dortmund, and the rest going for a draw. So pretty split between all the voters out there, as well as us. So yeah, we think that because of Borussia Dortmund do seem to have a little bit of kryptonite to Frankfurt, that they might take points off them so that the points would be shared. Moving on to Stuttgart, who are 5th in the table, taking on Freiburg, who are 8th. This is on Saturday, the 18th of January, 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon, UK time, and you can find your local kickoff time, game odds, and available broadcast streaming channels for this match. Of course, click at the link in the description on footballpredictions.net. If you go there, you'll find, at least in the UK or outside of Germany, really, you can watch it on Bet365. And to qualify, all you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Use bonus code FP365 when you sign up. Now, Stuttgart really are travelling pretty well. They've had one blot in their copybook, but this year, unblemished.
Yeah, Stuttgart, you just had that blip just before Christmas at home to St. Pauli. They lost that game 1-0, but they've come back strong after the break. They beat Augsburg 1-0 away. Another game where we had the correct score because we had Stuttgart to win 1-0 in that game. We also had Stuttgart to beat RB Leipzig midweek. They beat Leipzig 2-1 in that game, and we had over 2.5 goals. So, yeah, but 2 wins for Stuttgart. It actually makes it 4 wins from 5 for them. And it's the second time this season they're back-to-back wins. So they're definitely getting on a bit of a roll. They also had back-to-back wins just before that St. Pauli defeat. They're going into this game against Freiburg, another team where we predicted both outcomes of their first 2 games this season. Sorry, not this season. The second part of the season. They played Holstein Kiel in their first game last Saturday. They beat them 3-2. And then they traveled to Frankfurt and lost 4-1 in that game. But yeah, overall, when we look at Freiburg and we look away from home, they've taken some heavy defeats. The last 4 matches away from home, they have 3 defeats. They lost 4-1 at Frankfurt, 5-1 at Leverkusen, 4-0 at Dortmund. These are teams in the top half of the Bundesliga table, and they're going to Stuttgart here, who's also in the top half of the Bundesliga table. So it spells quite a difficult game for them.
Yeah, indeed. So we'll have to see how this one goes, but we believe this one will be a one where both teams do score. So we've gone for both teams to score prediction. Odds there at the moment 1.57, but we do believe that Stuttgart will get over the line. I mean, they have been in such great form, as you mentioned, and we think, being at home and everything, that they'll hit a couple of goals. And we've gone for a Stuttgart win. 1.62 are the odds you can get on that at the moment. Just so you know that if you like Freiburg, you can get them at 4.75, which is pretty huge, I think, and also 4.5 for a draw. But yet we and the bookies, by the looks of it, like the home side to win. We've gone for a 2-1 prediction, and you can get odds of that for a correct score prediction of exactly 2-1 at 8.5 at the moment.
Yeah.
Voting, just to cover the voting. So you go to our site, you see what you guys all vote for, as opposed to just us. And 67% of people at the moment in our poll like Stuttgart to win. 21% Freiburg, and the rest going for a draw. Next, we've got Bayern Munich, of course, top of the table, and they are playing Wolfsburg, who are in 7th. This is on Saturday, the 18th of January, 2:30 UK time kickoff. Go to footballpredictions.net, go click on the link in the description. You can find your localized kickoff time, odds, TV channels, and streaming services. You can watch this one, we know, outside of Germany in many places on Bet365. To qualify, all you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. And use bonus code FP365 on sign up.
Yeah.
So Bayern Munich steamroller in the competition still, as they normally do. They had that one weird result against Mainz back in December, didn't they? But apart from that, pretty plain sailing. But Wolfsburg, no slouches either.
Especially at home, if we look at Bayern Munich. I mean, let's look at just a few games that they have had after the break. 2 games where we predicted Bayern to win both games. One at Gladbach, they won 1-0. And then most recently, midweek on Wednesday, they beat Hoffenheim 5-0 at home. So we had both of those outcomes. But overall, if we look at Bayern at home, their last 6 home games, they've scored 3 goals or more. In fact, they've scored 4 goals on average across the last 6 home games. So no matter who is going to Bayern Munich, they know that they are going to have to really do well in order to get something from a game like that. Because the way that Bayern is performing at home, wow, yeah, they're scoring a lot of goals. Let's say it like that. Wolfsburg, though, and this is why this game is going to be quite interesting, because Wolfsburg, towards the end of the first half of the season, they actually won 4 from their last 6. And then they've gone into the new year beating both Hoffenheim away, and then they beat Gladbach most recently 5-1 at home. And Wolfsburg has also proven that they can score goals, because out of the last 6 matches, they've actually had 3 of them where they've scored 4 or more goals. So this could be a really entertaining game at Bayern. But no matter what, Wolfsburg will be in for it, and it will be really interesting to see how they're going to cope defensively against the Bayern team. But Wolfsburg have got goals in them, scored quite a few goals over the last 6 games. And yeah, they've started the second half of the season scoring 6 goals from 2.
Yeah, and just looking back at their looking at our website, actually mentioning some of the head-to-heads, and Wolfsburg haven't won any games against Munich since, well, I mean, we only go back to the last 6, but the last 6 games they've not won any, and Bayern have won 83% of those games back to May 2022. So you would think that's going to continue on here. Logic dictates Bayern Munich are a great team. Kane's back firing again, and I think he's going to win his first trophy this year by the looks of it, maybe more than one. We've gone for both teams to score prediction, however, and we like the look of this one. That's our tip. Odds here you can get at 1.8, which I think is pretty healthy, because if you did want to go for a Bayern Munich win, which we do also predict, you can only get 1.17, so hardly worth it, really. And for a correct score, we have gone for Bayern Munich 3, Wolfsburg 1. And if you like to look at that one regarding the markets and betting, you can get odds of 10 for that, which I think isn't bad either. It's 9-1. And in our poll, 93% of you think Bayern Munich will win this match. Kind of says it all. Don't want to dwell too much on that, but yeah, let's hope for their sake Bayern do get that win, and for yours as well.
Yeah.
Next, we have Heidenheim, who are in 15th, to take on St. Pauli, who are 14th in the table. This kicks off on Saturday, the 18th of January at 2:30 p.m. UK time. You can click the link in the description. You can find the match, and you'll find your localized kickoff time, odds, TV channels, and streaming services. You can watch it on Bet365 to qualify. All you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Sign up with bonus code FP365.
Yes, and looking at these 2 teams, it's really interesting because Heidenheim, wow, it looked like they could really do with a break, a good long Christmas break there, because in the lead up to Christmas, from the last 10 Bundesliga games, they had just 1 point from 10 matches, 1 draw, which was against Hoffenheim on October 27th. Then they had 9 defeats, 7 defeats in a row before Christmas. However, they've started the new year with a bang. First match of the year, they beat Union Berlin 2-0 at home, and then they traveled to Werder Bremen and got a 3-3 draw. So yeah, 5 goals from 2 games from Heidenheim, who've started not going to say a different team. It's a very similar team to the one before Christmas, but they picked up 4 points already, compared to 1 point from 10 before Christmas. So it's a team that's kind of kickstart their season after Christmas. And they're playing a St. Pauli team here who've started off with 2 defeats. They lost 1-0 at home to Frankfurt after the break. In the first game after the break, 1-0. We actually had 1-0 in that game for Frankfurt, so we had the correct score. And then against Bochum last week. And we know Bochum is not a team that you want to go to and lose. Like, Bochum so far this season has only won 2 matches, and one of them was against St. Pauli midweek. So not a great start for St. Pauli. These were games where you probably would not have anticipated them to pick up a point from Frankfurt, but I think St. Pauli would have fancied themselves against a Bochum team that were absolutely rooted at the bottom, and all of a sudden it's actually led Bochum into the relegation mix, although they're still 5 points behind Heidenheim, St. Pauli and Hoffenheim, who are all on 14. Now, away from home, St. Pauli has picked up 3 wins this season, so they have it in them to take an away win every now and again. But I think overall, if we look at St. Pauli away from home, they don't score a lot of goals. And there's not a lot of goals involved in the games that they do play away from home, apart from at the beginning of the season. So it's been quite fairly low scoring games. And with low scoring in mind, I'm going to hand it over to Guesty here for our prediction for this game.
Yes, well, we have St. Pauli looking like you said. They don't score a lot of goals. They didn't score one in the game against Bochum. They didn't score one in the previous game against Frankfurt, and they did score one against Stuttgart, but then they didn't score in the one before that. So we think there's not many goals in this game, and we're going to go for an under 2.5 goals game. The odds there you can get at 1.91. I'm just going to have to go to the tip, which is under 2.5 goals, 1.91. And we actually think this one could be even a 0-0 draw, and that's what we've gone for. So to get a draw, odds are obviously quite good for a draw, usually 3.5. Regarding the correct score of 0-0, you can get odds of 11 or 10 to 1. So hopefully that is something which can come true, but no one likes to predict a ball draw, but that's what we have gone for. And so have 18% of you voters on the website. Next, we've got Bochum, who are 18th, taking on RB Leipzig, who are up in 4th. Kicks off on Saturday, the 18th of January, 2:30 p.m. UK time. And for that game, obviously go to footballpredictions.net and you can see your local times and kickoffs and stuff. It can be watched on Bet365 to qualify. All you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Use bonus code FP365 on the sign up. And for this game, we've gone for a both teams to score prediction, and we've gone for a Leipzig away win. The correct score: Bochum 1, Leipzig 2.
Yes, moving on to another team at the bottom of the table. Holstein Kiel in 17th takes on Hoffenheim in 16th. This game kicks off Saturday, 18th January, 2:30 UK time. And again, go to football predictions and you'll find a localized kickoff times, odds, TV channels, and streaming services. This game you can watch on Bet365, and to qualify, all you need to do is to have a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Use bonus code FP365 on sign up. For this game, we are going with a Hoffenheim win, at both teams to score prediction, and a correct score of 2-1 Hoffenheim.
Yes, and next we've got Bayer Leverkusen, second position, doing really well this year, taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach in 11th. Kicks off on Saturday, the 18th of January, 5:30 p.m. UK time kickoff. Check our site to view, and the clickable links to view your local kickoff time, betting odds, and broadcast streaming channels tailored for yourself. You can watch it on Bet365, and to qualify for that, all you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. And when you join, do use bonus code FP365. I think this one's also on Sky Sports. And for this game, we have gone for another both teams to score. They both often do score, and we have gone for a home win for Leverkusen to continue on putting the pressure at the top, and we've gone for a correct score of 2-1.
Yes, and then moving on till Sunday, 19th of January, 2:30 UK time, we've got Union Berlin in 13th, taking on Mainz in 6th. And once again, this is a match where you can find the local kickoff time, game odds, and available broadcast streaming channels on footballpredictions.net for your geolocation. If you're based in the UK and multiple other territories, you can watch this game on Bet365 on streaming, and to qualify, all you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Use bonus code FP365 and sign it. And if you're based in the UK, this match is also available on Sky Sports Football. For this game, we are going with a score draw of 1-1.
Next, we've got Werder Bremen in 9th, taking on Augsburg in 12th, and this kicks off on Sunday, the 19th of January, 4:30 p.m. UK time. And click the link in the description. You can find your local kickoff time and game odds and available broadcast streaming channels for this match, one of which is Bet365 to qualify. All you need is a funded account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. And when you join, use a bonus code FP365. Now, for this game, we again have gone for a both teams to score prediction. That's our tip. And we like the look of Werder Bremen at home. And we've gone for a correct score prediction of 2-1. Now, a reminder that live streaming, like I mentioned, is available from Bet365 for these Bundesliga matches. Use the bonus code FP365 when you register to qualify. All you need is funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. Geolocation and live stream rules apply. Full details are available on the Bet365 website. 18 plus gamble aware, of course.
Yes, and in the description area of this podcast, you'll find links to the matches we've just been discussing, or just simply go directly to footballpredictions.net. That way you can have a look at the online places to watch the games from your location while streaming and TV channels, our tips for different betting markets, team news, as well as the best offers and odds.
You might be interested to know that we record these football podcasts for additional competitions, as well as this one, and you can listen to them at podcast.footballpredictions.net or where you normally get your podcasts from, such as Apple, YouTube, and Spotify. That's all. Thank you for joining us. And until the next one, it is.
Cheers.
Bye.
Football predictions.